they've been active in this winter, but they've been active in places that you wouldn't necessarily think. The big one, obviously, like we just talked about Martinez for 2 years. Hey, your buddy Emilio Pagan's also going there.
Yep.
Shout out to another 2 year deal. But Jeimer Candelario, 3 year deal, 45 mil. The biggest thing for the Reds, and we talked about this all last year, was like they have way too many guys, which is usually a good thing, but in this case, it's probably not. And that's why they had to let Votto go. When they signed another corner infielder, did that surprise you at all?
It surprised me a little bit to see that, but I think they're going with the philosophy of just collecting good players again, and those guys, some of those infielders are really good athletes. They can move to the outfield if they need them to. I think I already saw talk about Spencer Steer going to left field. But then it depends on the day and the situation. I know Candelario is a switch hitter, I believe. So I think depending on matchups and stuff, they can kind of work with that. Um, but the how do I say this? A lot of those young guys were unbelievable last year in the infield, and statistically speaking, I think like at least one of them are probably due for a regression their second year. Just like I think not not believing in them personally. I think
Yeah.
just generally speaking in baseball, that's how it's gone, at least for somebody. So maybe it's just kind of a what's the word? Not buffer, but like I
Like
can't even think of one blanking.
assurance, like insurance.
Yeah, like an insurance policy in case that happens
Yeah.
for somebody or injuries or whatever. So I don't think you can't have too many good players. So is it getting a little crowded? Sure, but can they move people around and teach them how to do other stuff? Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, when they signed Candelario, that the initial reaction after that was, well, Jonathan India is now he's just as good as gone. But their GM came out and said, we are unequivocally not trading Jonathan India. In fact, we're going to teach him how to play the outfield instead. Um, I mean, they're going to have him play second, first, outfield, DH. I love Jonathan India. I think he's like the heartbeat of that team. He's like a very fierce competitor. Um, but there's so many guys. I don't know what they're gonna do figuring it out. And they have like 5 outfielders now. Like Jake Fraley, our guy TJ Friedel, like Will Benson, and then you're just gonna shove generic infielder into left or right. Like I don't necessarily know how that's gonna work out. Is it easy just to take a second baseman and put him in the outfield?
No, absolutely not. It's definitely not easy. I mean, it's a it's a hard position to learn, but those guys are athletes. Can they do it in spring training and get good enough out there that if that's what the Reds want to do, they can do it? Yeah, sure. They're just going to have to see and just see how it plays out. I think time and just the games will work that out. But obviously they believe in Candelario.
Yeah, it's crazy because he had like a good year in Detroit, bad year, and everybody and the Nats bought low on him, and then they flipped him, and it's like he had this career resurgence. Or it's he's a great hitter.